Okay, just want to say real quick, this box art is really cool looking, but what's with Akechi? For one thing, he's in his crow outfit, and for another thing, he looks super pale compared to everyone else. Like, am I the only one who notices that? Like, why does he look so pale? Everyone else looks normal. God, it's almost like he died or something. I'm a horrible person. Hey guys, it's Generic Joe, and let's talk about the newest Persona game announcements, Persona 5R and Persona 5S. So real quick, we gotta go over the overview just so you guys know what I'm talking about. So let's start off with Persona 5 Royal, because that was teased first. Back in December of 2018, Atlus released this trailer saying that there were new Persona 5 projects that were going to be revealed in March of 2019. March of 2019 rolls around, and we get a 45-second trailer showing a female character saying she's not the biggest fan of the Phantom Thieves, and then it says that more information will be revealed on April 24th. So they teased a teaser for a teaser. So then April 24th rolls around, and after a Persona 5 concert, they revealed what exactly Persona 5 The Royal is. And as it turns out, it is like super Persona 5. A Persona re-release with more content isn't uncommon, and a Persona re-release with more content on the same system is not unheard of. This has happened multiple times before, people. Stop acting so surprised. You should have known this beforehand. Now, that being said, holy shit, it's almost like a new game. There is a lot of stuff added to this Persona 5 Royal. I can't even just say that it's Persona 5 with some more content, because there is just so much stuff, including a supposedly rewritten story. That's probably the craziest part about all of this, is the fact that they may be rewriting the story. We've gotten all sorts of details and screenshots, and we've gotten this 3-minute teaser trailer, which people have been dissecting for the past like 24 hours, and let me tell you, it's been kind of insane how much people were able to find. From things like a supposed human Morgana, and a new confidant, brand new anime cutscenes that were not present in the original game, and according to Atlus on the website for Persona 5 Royal, there's actually going to be a third semester added to the game, meaning that we'll be able to go through a year and a half of school at Shujin Academy before the game actually ends, instead of just the 1 year that we went through in the original Persona 5. And that alone just kind of tells me that the story has to be rewritten, because there are certain plot points that happen on certain days, and I'm not going to say what it is, but if you've played the game, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So if they're extending the game by another at least 6 months, that kind of changes everything. Yeah, it sounds like I'm exaggerating, but no, really, it does. They are adding a full 6 months to the game. That means like dates are gonna change. That means there could be more palaces to go through. There's just so much to go through. And in addition, we finally have the name of this new character that was shown in the March teaser, and her name is Kasumi Yoshizawa. And just like every other member of the Phantom Thieves after on, she questions whether the Phantom Thieves are doing the right thing or not, and then ends up joining anyway. Also, Joker has a grappling hook in the game now instead of it just being part of a menu. So, yay? It shouldn't be the biggest of deals, however, they do change up some of the gameplay because of this. There are certain puzzles that appear to be different than they originally were in Persona 5 because they added this grappling hook mechanic. And now that I think about it, I'm kind of amazed that they didn't put a grappling hook into the original game aside from a menu. I wonder how they're going to use this in this special version. There are also new things such as brand new all-out attacks for certain characters, including one for Futaba, and dual attacks, which are returning from Persona 4 Golden, which is really cool. And also, Makoto totally does the also, some of the character sprites for like the dialogue boxes are a bit different. I don't know if all of them are going to be different, but Makoto's is definitely different, Ryuji's is absolutely different, and Yusuke's looks the same, but it's actually drawn slightly differently. It's kind of hard to tell, but it's there. This new version of Persona 5 just really seems like it's trying to take advantage of the hardware that it was on, because the original version of the game was made for PS3 and PS4, but now they're making it exclusively for PS4, which means 1, no Switch version, but 2, they get to use specifically the PS4 hardware in ways they weren't able to do with the original game due to hardware limitations. Whatever those limitations may have been, it's not really certain. The rewritten story kind of threw me for a loop. Like, yeah, we had the answer in Persona 3 Fez, but even then, you still don't actually need to complete that. You could just beat the journey and just say that's the end, because really, you don't have to do the answer, and lots of people will say it's not even all that worth it. But this third semester seems like it'll actually be a part of the game, and it's not just going to wrap up in a nice epilogue. No, it's actually going to continue the story, and it'll change a decent amount as well. And supposedly certain characters that were dead are going to come back, which doesn't make any sense. Everyone's saying that this is Wakaba in this shot, but that doesn't make any sense. First of all, she died before the game started, and second of all, if she is alive, then that completely destroys the entire point of Futaba's character. Like, that doesn't make any sense, so I'm thinking this just has to be some sort of weird dream that Joker has or something. That's the only explanation I could think of. I don't really know. I don't get it. Oh, and also, you know those images where people take the twins outside to go to, like, the Big Bang Burger and stuff like that? It's real now. It is absolutely 100% real now. Yes, you can actually take the twins outside of the Velvet Room in this version, so that's kind of interesting. I'm kind of interested to see if you can take them all the same places that you could all the other dates in the game, and if they become a new female dating option, then that is the worst thing ever. Shame on you, Joker. Alright, there's not a whole lot else I can say, nothing I can really add to this conversation that isn't already said by other people, but now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's get to the next announcement, which happened the very next day. After the second day of the concert had wrapped up, we saw the Persona 5 Royal trailer again, but afterwards, they played the trailer for the supposed Persona 5S, which had gotten a website and domain some time ago, and everyone was saying it's a Switch port. We even had some assholes claiming on Twitter that it was absolutely 100% confirmed to be a Switch port. Guys, you gotta trust me, I'm like an expert leaker, I know exactly what I'm talking about. No! Boom! Fuck you, it's a Muso game. Eat shit. I was so tired of seeing that on Twitter, of people just saying like, guys, I'm an insider, I know my information, I know that this Persona 5S is 100% a Switch port, and it's not. But the game is still coming out on the Switch.
For real?
Yes, it is a Persona 5 Muso game, or a Dynasty Warriors game, if you want to call it that. I'm basically in one of those situations where I'm like, I didn't know I needed that, because holy shit, Persona 5 Muso is actually a really cool idea. And Koei Tecmo has been making some other Dynasty Warriors crossovers before, as I'm sure you know, they made Hyrule Warriors and Fire Emblem Warriors, and I enjoyed both of those games quite a bit. And the interesting thing I want to note about those games is that they actually featured 3 games from their respective series prominently, and you guys probably know where I'm going with this, but I want to elaborate anyways just in case. The 3 main games that were focused on in Fire Emblem Warriors were Awakening, Fates, and Shadow Dragon. The characters from these 3 games prominently featured on the game's box art and in-game as playable characters, and most, if not all, Fire Emblem characters that weren't from the 3 games I just mentioned were added as DLC at some point. And there was a similar situation with Hyrule Warriors. The 3 Zelda games prominently featured there were Ocarina of Time, Skyward Sword, and Twilight Princess. And again, other characters from things like Majora's Mask and Wind Waker ended up getting added as downloadable content after the game's launch. So here's what I'm thinking, and this is not me confirming anything, I'm not saying this is official, but this is just a thought I had, but the 3 games that they could focus on are the only 3 Persona games Atlus ever focuses on: Persona 3, 4, and 5. Maybe the game could feature characters from those 3 games prominently, and then we get Persona 1 and 2 characters as DLC down the road. That would make a lot of sense. I would absolutely see that happening. Would I buy that DLC? Yeah, probably. I mean, I haven't really played any of Persona 1 and 2, but yeah, sure, let's get extra DLC characters. Also, if Teddy's DLC, I'm gonna actually hurt people. But yeah, it's a Dynasty Warriors game and not a Switch port. Good job, guys. You overhyped yourself and set false expectations up just like the Nintendo community. Well done, ladies and gentlemen. Can I get a round of applause for that? This is such a congratulations you played yourself kind of moment. Seriously, no one actually said it was going to be Persona 5 on Switch aside from leakers. And seriously, why do you believe leaks anymore? Do you remember the Grinch leak from Smash Ultimate? Do you not remember that? Does that mean nothing to you? You're seriously gonna acknowledge that that existed and then actually think those Persona 5 Switch leaks were real? Like, are you dumb? Like, are you guys actually serious? Like, there's no way you could have actually thought that, right? You can't trust leaks anymore. After the Grinch leak for Smash Ultimate that so many people thought was real because it looked so convincing, turned out to be fake. So why do you people still believe these leaks? Like, guys, are you serious right now? I'm actually pretty happy that we're getting a Persona 5 Musou game because honestly, I didn't really need a Switch version. I personally have no reason to want a Switch version. I've beaten the game twice on my PS4, and I have like 180 hours on it or something like that. I don't need to play the game on Switch. There's no actual good reason for me to get the game again on Switch, especially if it were to be sold at $60. Now, that's not saying I don't want it to be on Switch whatsoever, because there are quite a few other people that wanted to get Persona 5 because Joker got put in Smash and they want to see what the game he came from is like. And that's fine, you know? If you wanted a Persona 5 on Switch for that reason, then I would have felt happy for you if you actually got that. But you didn't, and you got a Musou game instead. Let the tears flow. Seriously, people are so salty about this, and they're gonna forget this exists within the next week. Just you watch. Okay, that's enough making fun of other people. Let's go over actual thoughts real quick. I'm pretty excited for both of these games. Persona 5 Royal looks way crazier than I thought it would be. And I'm gonna be honest, if that came out on Switch, I would absolutely buy that. Because it's not like the base game of Persona 5 with a couple neat additions. No, this is like a complete revamp. This can't even be classified as like a remake or a redux or a remaster or anything like that. It's almost like, what's a good example? Ooh, I've got one. You know how Star Fox Zero was supposed to be like a reimagining of the original game rather than just a straight remake? Because they were putting in all sorts of new concepts and ideas that weren't present in the original game and couldn't just simply be added to it. It's kind of the same case here, except I'm not the only person who's going to like it. It's a sad life that I live on this earth, but it's the one I have, so. But seriously though, if Royal came to Switch, I would have absolutely bought that because that is way more than just a simple Persona 5 port. But instead, we're getting a Musou game, and I'm pretty happy with that. Again, I didn't know I wanted it until it happened, and would I have preferred a fighting game? Not necessarily. I mean, who's to say we're not still getting a Persona 5 arena of some sort? Honestly, if they keep putting out more Persona 5 spin-offs that aren't just the ones that they did for 4, I would be pretty happy with that. Because they've done similar spin-offs for Persona 4 and 5, and all the ones that they had for 5 were inferior to the versions that they had for 4. Persona 5 Dancing had no story mode, the visuals were only slightly better from the base game, but it didn't really have any sort of flair to it, despite the fact that the original game is stylish as hell. So many songs were DLC to the point where it actually cost more than the base game, and that is never okay. And overall, it just kind of seemed like a cash grab, like seriously. Persona 5 the animation is just so bad, like holy shit, it's so bad. You know what, just watch those videos from that one guy. I can't say his name properly. You know the one, the guy that made the videos on like Haru's screen time and stuff like that. Go watch his videos. That sums up everyone's thoughts on Persona 5 the animation quite well, I think. Now the only one to not suck complete ass is Persona Q2, but that's not out in America, so not a lot of people have gotten the chance to play it, aside from people who have imported 3DSs. So it's kind of hard to say, though from what I've heard from people who did import it, it actually is quite the improvement over the original, so I'll have to take their word for that. So it is pretty nice to see new spin-offs that were not done for P4 that might actually be good, and a new enhanced version of Persona 5 that could fix most if not all problems the original game had, and then somehow find its way to introduce new ones. But anyways, that's all I have to say on these new announcements. So now, I'll leave it to you. What do you guys think of these new Persona game announcements? Let me know down in the comments below, and I will see you guys next time for whatever, whenever, here on my channel. Goodbye.